maybe some heat lamps or straw because we have some really, really cold weather coming in. And again, some of these horses have absolutely no fat on them. These are all things that could really, really assist the Arabian rescue mission. Neutrina, senior, and cracked corn. Cracked corn. Yeah, and luckily they're all, not possibly, most of these mares are going to be pregnant. Probably 90% of them. And the other 10% is just because they've aborted recently. Okay, so I'm not in a cold climate to know that. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be a lot of money. This is where we call the horse community and say, please assist this rescue, because they are taking on a huge undertaking. And we have personally, all three of us here and many more, have been working on getting these horses located and rescued for the past at least 6 months. So we know that this problem is actually real. We've been dealing with it, and we've been trying to get these horses rescued for quite some time.
Yeah, I've got pictures as far back as August.
Yeah, it's been forever. It was like right around the time that Too Raw to Ride was ending his ride.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when people were like, hey, help us with this. And, we had one in South Carolina, and then we got the Wits End one that came in, and then this one. And this one, we really worked hard on trying to locate him. And we went through a lot of bullshit, too. We had some lady that contacted us, and she's the sister-in-law of the person who moved the horses the last time, who led us on the wildest goose chase with the most outlandish lies. And finally, I busted her. We all started getting like this gut feeling that she was lying when she was saying she was out there for hours in Arkansas on horseback and scouring the land in Arkansas trying to find these horses. And stuff just started not adding up to all of us. We all started getting a bad gut feeling. And so finally, at one point, she was saying that she was going to be sending us this drone footage. She never sent it to us. She was going to be sending us the paperwork of where the horses were sent off last. And she never did. And we were just like, why aren't you sending us this information? And then she said she got in a bad wreck, or she broke her knee, or she broke her leg or something like that. And then she said she
broke a rib.
Well, she had some kind of bone disease or something, and she was riding even though she had that, and then she fractured her leg in 2 places. And that was after they walked in on some kind of drug deal and found a body or something. I mean, it was the most
they couldn't tell us about.
Oh my God, it was so much drama. But then it ended up being like, she told us that she was in critical care in a what's it called, base? Like a veteran hospital. And I knew where she had told us that she worked. And so I called the number and I was like, hi, is Abby working today? Because supposedly she's in critical care, right? With a blood clot. And so I call and I'm like, hi, is Abby working today? They're like, yeah, I think she's working today. Hold on a second. Is Abby working today? And the guy's like, yeah, she's back there. And I was like, oh, that's fucking interesting. So they transferred me over to her, and I was like, hey, Abby, how's the blood clot? And she goes, huh? And I was like, okay. And then we just did it all on message from there so that everybody can kind of see what was going on. But it was like, this lady drug us on for a month thinking that she was actually looking for these horses.
For like no reason.
For what reason? What was her reason behind that?
She manufactured a fiance and an engagement ring. I mean, you couldn't.
She did. She came up with the most outlandish lies. And I was just like, I don't know what to say when I found out that she actually was lying to us this whole time. But obviously, we kicked her out of the group and continued from that point forward, and then we found him. I think it was Cindy that found him, wasn't it?
Barbara.
Was it Barbara? Oh, Barbara.
Someone reached out to her about a bunch of Arabians, and she was like, I actually do know about them. We're looking for them.
But anybody that's in the Arkansas area would be great for fostering or adoption because a lot of them are not going to be fit to travel. If you're fostering, it is a tax write-off, but also the 501c, which is the Arabian Horse Mission, will also be helping you with feed and vetting, etc., and a refeed program because these horses are going to need to do that before they can travel. They brought out 5 of them tonight, 5 foals locally, and then there's 9 to 12, however many they can fit onto the trailer that are really bad in the herd. They're going to try to get them over to Kentucky. So, oh yeah, I'm going to be taking some from 8 hours away. So not all of them are in terrible condition. Because there is somebody that has been trying to feed them. She's just run out of money because she's been doing this for 6 months and 7 months. So yes, Kimmy, 4 hours, I do believe you would be able to get some of them from point A to point B, but you'll need to contact the Arabian Horse Mission and get either a foster or adoption application. Let them know that we sent you over there, and she'll get that out to you as soon as possible. And just know that when you get there, this guy is a hoarder, and he's got some issues going on, and he does not want to let these horses go. They are no longer his. They are the rescues by law. And that is that. So we are going to help her in placing these horses with the best homes, whether it be foster or adoption. And anybody that is not able to adopt and is not able to foster, please still contact them and send them out any kind of supplies that you have, whether it be grooming supplies, halters, blankets. You can make orders on Chewy and send it over to them. So they're in Kentucky. However, the horses are in Arkansas. So right now they're trying to get them transported from Arkansas over to Kentucky. Not all of them are in condition to be able to drive that distance. So anybody that's in Arkansas and able to foster, or in driving, like not too far away from Arkansas, if you can foster or adopt or help with feed, or any trainers that are able to go out there and maybe help start getting them halter trained and picking up their feet, things like that. If you're in Arkansas and able to assist with that, I think that'd be fantastic. Sorry, children. Evan, out, please. Don't push her. Hey, you're gonna break that. Sorry, mom moment.
So this picture was taken, like, not even recently. This was from a few properties ago that he had been at in, like, 2020? This was from, who is it, Brad?
Yeah, I think so. Savicchio 2000 saying, do you have a GoFundMe or a feed mill we can make donations to directly? Yes, please go to the Arabian Mission Rescue, or Rescue Mission, Arabian Rescue Mission. There you go. Go to this page on Facebook, and then just make sure that when you donate, you let them know inside the PayPal that it's for the Arkansas herd, because she's going to put it aside just for them. You're welcome. Thank you. Anything will help them, whether it's sending them blankets, halters, anything of the sort, because it's 65 horses.
Or
Suzanne,
just sharing the post.
Yeah, Suzanne, sharing the post on their page is going to be huge as well. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Go to bed, please. Yeah, they're going to have a link for donations on their page. I will link it onto my page here when I get off of the live. But for right now, I mean, you could just go over there. Some of them can travel. Not all of them, but some of them can. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to yell.
He has my Christmas toy.
Evan, bring it back and go to bed. No!
I believe he is still on property with the horses. He's got nowhere else to go.
Yeah, so he's an older man with mental health issues. He is not the one that is taking care of the horses right now, although he is still there. They've already given him a, gosh, I want to say like 2 months ago, an eviction notice. He lives out in their field. He doesn't live in a house. He doesn't even live in his car. He has a vehicle there. That's a whole nother story. But they can't get him to leave. They've tried to no trespass him. They have given him an eviction notice. He will not leave. And the thing is that he's a nice guy on all outward appearances. And the lady that owns the property, she likes him and she feels bad for him. So although she is taking the horses and giving them she has now she's got a lien on them. They are her horses. She's given them to the rescue. She's saying, come get these horses. He's not taking care of them. She has spent over $90,000 at this point trying to feed these horses for the past 6 months. And she just can't afford to do it anymore. So she contacted the rescue, and the rescue is now going to be taking those horses. And so we are trying to help those horses now get the feed and care, because 65 horses is huge. Yes, he's a master manipulator. We all know all his past history with every other property that he's been on for the last 5 years. And we know what kind of a person he is, but she doesn't understand it. She's not articulating it in her own head that he is manipulating her and has been manipulating her. He is not a good person, but he is sick. There's something wrong up there to where he thinks. Yeah, AHA knows what's going on. They actually were the ones that were trying to help identify some of these horses quite a few years ago and find out whether or not any of them were able to be registered through DNA. And unfortunately, they were not. So they got like a few of them that they were able to do that. Ah, that's my cousin.
Aww.
Can I see? Can I see your cousin?
There is law enforcement that is available to come out. He's not an aggressive person. But what they're trying to do is during those times is go take him to lunch, move him away, so that way when the horses are going and being loaded up, that he's not able to be there and be a distraction or have altercations. But it's a hard situation because there is mental illness there. He truly believes that he is the best thing for these horses. He really does love them. He's like that hoarder with 1,000 starved dogs that thinks that they are best off with him, regardless of the care that they're getting or the neglect that they're getting.
Or dead.
And he's kind of heartless, but the thing is, he's still heartless when they're dead. You know, there's been mares that have aborted and he's taken the fetus and thrown them over a fence to feed dogs. So, I mean, it's just weird.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Can you put these together?
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Can you stand up for me?
I'll pull up the picture of him trying to stand up that yearling that he almost killed.
Beautiful. Yeah, if you guys can share that on Facebook, that would be fantastic. Aimless Lou, I'm late joining. What's happening? So for the past couple months, I would say last 6 months or so, we have been tracking down. Someone contacted us and let us know that there was about 70 starving Arab horses in the middle of Arkansas, that he had left their property. He had left 30 plus dead horses in a mass grave on their thing. They had called the police, and he took off overnight with these horses and left, and they had no idea where he went, but he had these starving horses with them. She was an older woman. She was a little bit afraid of him and really didn't know where to go, but finally she had enough and she contacted the police. which they were looking for him in that county. However, he left that county and went over to where he's at right now, where we looked for him for months and months and months. Finally located him, and talked to the woman whose property he was on. And she's like, oh yeah, he lied to us. He told us that he wanted to lease the property. We gave him the amount that we would lease the property for. And he paid the first month, and then that was it. He stopped paying. From there, he told them that he was bringing 20 horses. He showed up and he had 70 horses. As of right now, since in the last month, he's already lost 3, a gelding, a mare, and a foal. And if they didn't get this rescue to step in, then likely there would be another 30 dead this year. So we're really trying to get them removed from the Arkansas property and taken to this rescue. However, some of them are just not going to be in the best health to travel from Arkansas to Kentucky. So we really need some fosters and adopters out in the Arkansas area or surrounding that are able to do that. They do need to fill out an adoption or foster application through the Arabian Rescue Mission, which you can find them on Facebook. You can make donations to them on Facebook. There's a lot of horses that need to be vetted. They're not feral, but they're not trained either, but they aren't unhandled. So any help that they're able to get, you can go onto the Facebook page for the Arabian Rescue Mission page and share their post with those 5 foals that just left this evening. And then the other 9 to 12 that are leaving on Tuesday are going to Kentucky, and they're going to be some of the worst ones. They're going to be doing a lot of stops, and it's going to take a while for them to get over there, but they're going to really try to take care of those horses on the way. Thanks, Cheryl. Cheryl and I used to have talks when I was little about how I was going to have all these horses one day. Do you remember that, Cheryl? This is from like little kid. But so these Arabians, they really, really need your guys' assistance. And a lot of them are going to be pregnant. There's some that are studs that are going to have to be gelded. The rescue is taking care of this. But we do need assistance because there's 65 horses. So share, like this. I'm going to go ahead and put up a link to the PayPal for the rescue. It'll go directly to them. If you have blankets, halters, lead ropes, please send them over there. Yeah, and cob size halters if possible, some full halters if possible, yearling. They're Arabian, so they're going to have small faces. They're Egyptian bred. And they are coming from the Ansanta Sinan line. So anybody that knows Arabians are going to know these are coming from the oldest Egyptian lines. However, they are not going to be registered. They are grade. They won't be registerable, if that's a word. And they're not to be used for breeding, etc. However, most of the mares are bred.
Mommy, I want a hug.
I'm hugging you.
I want to have some love.
You want some lovin's?
Yes.
And again, that's going to be for the... some extra. Awesome. Thank you, Blonde with the attitude. If you guys are able to send that over, that'd be fantastic. And just let them know that anything that you're sending it for the Arkansas herd. Because they do have a lot of... Victoria, you're in front of my camera, baby. Oh my gosh, I need to put this girl to bed.
No.
Blankets, especially for foals, yearlings, and small horses. I'd probably say anywhere from the small foal all the way up to the 71-inch blanket, 72-inch. Because they small horses. I think she was saying one of the tallest ones they have is probably 14.2, 14.3. They're Arabians. They're not going to be huge. Okay, anything else you guys want to add on there? And what I'll do is end up with a we'll make some posts. Aimless Lou is asking, what's the likelihood of survival for these horses? Sounds like many won't make it. No, actually, I think most of them are going to make it. Although a lot of them are in very bad condition, they're not in the worst condition that I've ever seen. And that's because there's a lady that's over there that's been feeding them. She's just not able to feed them as much as they need, but they have been getting some feed for the past 6 months. The ones that are super bad are being taken on Tuesday, and 5 of the foals were already taken this evening.
Mommy, look what Evan did.
But luckily, most of them are going to come back just fine. And they're sweet. They're not like feral horses. She did say that there's one really bitchy mare out there named Girlfriend. And I was like, me likes the bitchy mares as long as she's not going to try to kill me. And she goes, no, she's not. Like, none of them are really mean. None of them are scared of people. They'll come right up to you. They're just not halter broke. They're not broke to ride. But you have Aimless Lou, he was actually moving more than 60. Right now there's 65, but there was 70 the last time he moved it. And he used a company out of Arkansas that had this huge stock trailer. And all you need to do is shake a grain bucket. And once you get one from the band in there, then the rest of them follow in. But yeah, they were cattle haulers, and he did 3 loads and shoved them all in there as much as he could, and then brought them over to the location that they're at now. Well, Cindy, if you need some more Arabs, there's going to be quite a few for adoption and for fostering. And she would love as much assistance as possible. Yeah, the cattle hauler, Aimless Lou, the cattle hauler sister-in-law is the one who put us on a wild goose chase for over a month with like the most outlandish lies, like crazy stories. Oh, it's a pink thing just came in. Yeah, the haulers themselves didn't respond, but the sister-in-law did. And we busted her red-handed lying. After like a month.
Yeah. She sucked.
It's so funny because we all knew too, you know? Like in my gut, I knew, but I didn't want to... For a minute there, I didn't want to say anything because I was like, well, she's trying to help, and if she's really out there looking, like, who are we to say anything bad? Maybe, like, my intuition is wrong. And then all of us were like, no, there's something weird going on here. And then her lies just got more and more outlandish. And I was like, yeah, this is some bullshit.
I had messaged
Barbara Wolf.
Claire. I was like, Claire, I messaged Claire and I was like, I don't feel great about her. And Claire was like, I'm so glad you said something. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's talk to other people about this.
Yeah, and I think I messaged you guys too. It was like, hey, what's up with this chick? So Barbara Wolf said, how did he get all these horses? He had on Santa Sinan and Veruska Arabians. So how they got their initial herd, I don't know. But this was like 20 plus years ago.
We do actually know this. Hang on 1 second. I have to pull it up. So he partnered up with a woman who was married to a very prominent equestrian in Switzerland. Last name Stossel. I forget his first name. Peter Stossel. His daughter is still very prominent in the horse world in Switzerland. So his ex-wife, I guess, and Christoph partnered up together, and they got a lot of their horses from him and from other connections that they had from the Arabian world through him, from what I understand. And they also got just like some picked up here and there. He was really vague about picking up any of the horses from Judith, so I'm not sure if he actually did or not.
Yeah, I don't know that whole story, but I know that there was a lot of drama surrounding. I'm gonna go outside. You guys aren't gonna see me for a minute. There was a lot of drama quite a few years ago about Veruska, and I don't know if it was the care that they were receiving or just that he was kind of crazy or what. But there was some drama that was surrounding Veruska because some of my Arab friends here knew exactly who they were, and that there was some drama surrounding them at one point. So how they got, I mean, they've had them for a long time, and he was selling straws of Sinan's semen, like in suitcases, handcuffed to people's arms. I mean, we have had so many jokes about Arkansas to this point because he was literally sending this guy, the first guy that we know about, in a private airline with semen handcuffed to his arm from Sinan. That's how big of a name the stud was that these lines are from. Do you guys remember when we found out about the semen being handcuffed to the arms of Gary?
That's so funny. Okay, so the 25 horses arrived from Switzerland in 1998 with Vera and Christoph.
Yeah, supposedly they sold for a lot, huh, Dana? Supposedly.
And I think that the family still has some of the horses related to Sinan in Spain.
Oh, really? So the rescue told me this evening that she's actually spoke to Vera's son.
Milo?
Yes.
We did too.
Oh, you did? What happened in that conversation? I didn't even know about that one.
I thought you knew about that. He said that Vera, yeah, he said that's when Vera has no contact with him.
Oh, I totally missed that part.
I don't remember who contacted. I think it was Barbara.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I definitely did not know. But she said that he seemed like he was the sane one in the family. And he said that he had told the rescue that the Vera was insane. And I was like, well, we kind of knew that already.
Simon,
Let's see.
what are you boofing at?
Little Simon. So Bree has a brand new puppy who's not really a puppy. How old is he, Bree?
They say he's about a year old, but
Oh, he is a puppy.
I'm not sold on it. On that, Simon, quit boofing. Quit it. There's no one out there. I promise. He's like, no, there's definitely someone out there. Good boy. He's a good boy.
So for anybody that's wondering what's going on right now, please head over to the Arabian Rescue Mission on Facebook and look at their last post. It's really going to tell you a lot of information, but also how you can help them to make a difference in these very malnourished and neglected Arabians. I would say they're malnourished, but they're more neglected than anything else. I don't think that they're not going to make it. I believe that majority of them are going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen them, but if the rescue says that they have high hopes, then I have no reason to not believe them right now.
Yeah, she said she was out there and she goes, they're rough. Don't get me wrong. They're rough and they're skinny. And some of the ones, even Kathy was telling me, some of the ones that looked really good in the end of summer are starting to lose a lot of that as well. She's like, because there's just no grass. And she can't afford to put out, 1 million bales for them. So didn't see that coming.
I forgot to ask when I talked to them tonight, are there still any of the horses that are lame? Because when they were delivered, there were some that obviously were lame.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm going to try to go out there. My husband is having shoulder surgery. Really wish this would have happened like last week. I wish I could help. I cannot imagine paying so much for horses to let them rot. Well, most of these were pasture-bred horses at this point. They're not going to be registerable. They'll be great Arabians. He's not really paying anything for them because he stopped paying his lease. He paid only 1 month of the 7 or 8 months that he's now been there. And then from there, he hasn't paid for anything else. He's just kind of left them out there and let the property owner, who is a horse lover, pay for their feed. And so she had enough and she evicted him. She put a public notice out saying that these are abandoned, neglected horses. And if somebody doesn't step up and take them, claim ownership within a certain amount of time, then they're legally hers. But even after she sent him the bill and he never paid the bill after 10 days, they were automatically, according to Arkansas state law and the rescue, they were automatically hers. So she gave them over to the Arabian Rescue Mission. You can find them on Facebook. And they are in desperate need of donations right now for these 65 horses that are going to be leaving Arkansas to Kentucky. Or if you want to adopt or foster and you're closer to Arkansas, maybe you're not even close to Arkansas. There's some that will make a trip no problem.
Or just share the post.
Yeah, or share the post. Aimless Lou, good for her for taking action. Well, she wasn't going to take action, Aimless. We really, really, really had to force her hand in a couple of ways because she really, she likes Christo. He's a really charming Belgian. I guess he's Belgian. Is he Belgian?
Swiss German.
Yeah, he's like really charming. He brings chocolates and wine and hello, Miss Kathy, you're so perfect. I love you guys. You're a family, blah, blah, blah. And she's kind of fallen into it. She's really naive and she just wants to help the horses. And she really tried to do it as much as she possibly could, but she had so much money into this at a extent she just can't afford it anymore. And found a way to legally take the horses. Yeah, we've been working on this for, 6 or 7 months. We're working on it for a while, trying to get these horses located, first of all, once we located, to get her to do the right thing and give her a reality check that we've seen what he's done to other properties, that he's left, 30 plus bodies behind in mass graves, that he is trying to take one of the property owners that he was on. He's trying to sue him for his property right now. Like they're in court. He's trying to steal this elderly man's property from underneath of him while he owes that guy over $150,000. And the guy's got Parkinson's on top of it. So Christo is not a good guy. He's mentally ill. And he's got narcissistic personality traits, in my opinion, without having met him, just from what I've heard and what I know of him so far. His ego will not allow him to let these horses go. He thinks he knows best when it comes to feed. He thinks he knows best when it comes to their care. But then at the same time, he's giving them one handful of grain and then one square bale for 90 horses at one point, which is just insanity. And of course, the strongest ones are going to eat and kick the other ones off and resource guard. So some of them got really poor and a lot of them happened to be foals or the mares that were pregnant and they passed away.
He also didn't cut the string on those bales.
Yeah. And then there's 65 horses left right now that are all going to be going to rescues. So if anybody is able to donate to the Arabian Rescue Mission, share their post that you see, the last one that has the little starred foals on it. Yeah, it's really bad. But she actually cares for Crystal. She's a very naive, good heart. At the same time, she was also kind of looking out. Well, I won't even get into all of it, but he's got his claws in her still somewhat in her heart. He still pulls her heartstrings. Yeah, and Linda, those aren't even the worst that are over there, according to the rescue. I'll be going out there in a couple weeks and I'll see what's going on, but they're going to be sending me lots of videos, so I'll be posting them up for you guys the next couple days. Yeah, no, Linda, I mean, if you saw some of the stuff that we've seen just in photos, of these horses throughout the years of neglect. There's one that's passed away with its head inside of a bucket, likely trying to get feed. I think she was a pregnant mare. Lots of dead foals. It's heart-wrenching. Yeah, and she's kind of more on this naive side, Linda. Like, she went and told him that he didn't know that we were looking for them. And she went and told him. Will there be any legal action? We've tried. He has had past convictions. He's not supposed to have horses. He was supposed to go and get a psych evaluation, which he never got. So he didn't follow the court orders, but they're not really following up on it either. The livestock commissioner knew exactly who he was when they were notified, and the horses were all put into quarantine because it was a slash boarding facility. And so the horses were all put onto quarantine because they didn't have coggins. Yeah, good old U.S. justice system. It's hard when it comes to livestock. And Bree is working on legislation right now to help the equines not just be livestock. And holding the people accountable for neglect. Because it's prevalent in the equine community, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, as long as animals are considered property, there's so many things that people can get away with doing to them. I see it all the time. I've seen it in, not so much in, well, yeah, I guess. I've seen it in labs. I've seen it in horses. I've seen it in shelters. Like, animals just don't get enough protection.
No.
The sad fact is that had she not fed them initially, they might have been in bad enough shape that Livestock Commission would have moved, but she did feed them some, which kept their body score from deteriorating enough that they deemed they were in immediate danger.
Yeah, and also even the rescue told her the exact same thing that I told her, and that is if there's feed on property, if they can see the feed, even if it's not being used for them, then that is considered minimum care. And so when the animal control came out the first time, they saw the horses and they're like, oh, they're not even that bad. And she was like, what? There's like right now 7 of them there have a body score of 1 and 2. So halter Arabians, yo, what's up? So I guess we'll go through it again. We'll go through the short version, and that is that there are 65 neglected and malnourished Arabians that are in Arkansas right now that have now been, I guess, are being seized by the Arabian Rescue Mission, or given to, but not, it's kind of hard to explain. But they're all coming from this on Santa Sinan lines. However, they're not going to be registerable. They've been out there for 20 years in different properties, all in their own, their little bands, but they've not been registered. Their parents haven't been registered. The ones before that haven't been registered. And so they are now looking for either adoptions or fosters for these horses, or donations, either monetary or blankets or halters, feed, vet care, whatnot. There's literally 65 horses right now that are going to be needing a lot of care. And if you go to Facebook, to the Arabian Rescue Mission, they're in Kentucky. They're going to be taking control over the 65 Arabians. They have applications for foster and adoption if you're able to do that. And they are coming from really good lines, like I said, but they are not going to be registrable. They're not going to be for breeding, although most of the mares are bred. Yeah, they're being rescued. If you go onto the Arabian Rescue Mission Facebook page, they actually have a post that if you guys could share it, that would be fantastic. If you're not able to do any kind of donations, if you are, just make the donations straight to the rescue. I will be posting their PayPal. If you do a donation, please make a note on PayPal saying that it's for the Arkansas herd, because she's going to do a separate one just for them because there's just so many of them. And if anybody is in the Arkansas area and able to foster, just know that it is a tax write-off and that the rescue will be paying for feed and vetting, etc., with the donations that are being sent over to them. Thank you so much, Halter Arabians. We definitely want to get the word spread as far and as wide as possible. It takes probably going to take the whole equine community in order to get these horses what they need. And anybody that is thinking about fostering or adopting, they're not unhandled, they're not feral, they're just not broke at all. Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's line breeding all through every single type of horses, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's what we would worry more about is the malnutrition as babies, and what that can do to their bodies as they're developing. So there might be some that you'll have to help a little bit more than others. But as far as line breeding goes, that's pretty common in the horse world. Even in Mustangs, there's a lot of line breeding. Yeah, it doesn't really affect them the same way unless there's a genetic predisposal for something. But these are really, really good bloodlines that they're coming from. It's not like it's different with horses because of the type of herd animal that they are. They travel in bands within huge herds, as Bree was explaining earlier. So most horses are going to be line bred somewhere.
They do a lot of mixing, intermingling stuff.
Yeah, it's not like super. Yeah, it's not like dogs and cats. It's different. Herd animals are a lot different. It's like deer. Deer are so inbred, but I mean that's just the way that herds are. It's going to be I believe it's by Hot Springs. Is it Hot Springs or Rock Springs?
Hot Spring.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. But I mean, even from me, I'm in South Texas, and it's only like an 8-hour drive for me. So if anybody's in that surrounding area and able to adopt or foster one of these Arabian horses, or two of them, even better, because in that way they'll be able to have one of their herd mates with them. However, it's not necessary. They will do just fine in another herd. But you will have to go through the adoption or fostering application that you'll see going to the Arabian Rescue Mission and sending them a message and asking them to send that over to you. God, I'm so happy that this is coming to an end.
It's been exhausting seeing all of those pictures.
I know. I mean, it feels like it's been like years that we've been trying to get this done. Even though it's only been 6, it's just we've worked so hard on it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. All right, Sinmart will give the Arabian Rescue Mission, shoot them a message if you're looking to adopt or foster, and they will absolutely help you out with that. 2 hours is not bad at all. I think any of them would be able to survive a 2-hour trip.
Probably.
I think they should be fine as long as you've got some alfalfa in there for them and some water along the way if they'll drink it. A lot of horses don't drink when they travel. But 2 hours is not too bad. They've gone through a lot worse at this point.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But I can say I don't think that, I mean, from what I understand, they're not abused Like he's not going up and hitting them, and they're not abused in that way. They're actually very friendly horses.
He's just not feeding them.
Yeah, they're just neglected.
Just standard.
Like very neglected. And it's getting worse as winter is coming and there's less and less pasture for them to eat.
And it's freezing, and he's had horses freeze to death before in his arms.
Turn it down just a little bit.
I want to hear it.
You can hear it, but you guys gotta turn it down just a little bit.
Like this much?
Yes. Thank you.
Why did you forget to put
He thinks he's the vet. That's why he doesn't call the vet. Oh, so let me tell a story about this little foal. Let me bring this picture back up again.
That's a bad no.
So this horse was one of 4 yearlings that was rescued by the person that brought this case to our attention. After she rescued the yearling from his place, he came to her place because I think the yearling had like a suspected case of strangles or something. And while the owner was trying to call the vet, he was trying to actively stop her from calling the vet. And while she had her back turned to him because she was on the phone with the vet to get instructions on what to do, he shot this baby up with like a double dose of penicillin, and it went into whatever shock it went into. Couldn't stand up for like months. And I mean, like, they rehabilitated her until she was able to like walk and everything. And then I guess she had some kind of turn recently, and they had to put her down. So
This was Faith, right?
yeah, so there's that. Cool stuff.
And unfortunately, there's so many stories like that. There was another foal that we recently learned about that had a prolapsed anus, a swollen face, and he was injecting it with a bunch of stuff as well. And no one knows what's inside these bottles that he carries around in his pocket. But we think it's some sort of either Banamine, Bute, and then antibiotics, probably penicillin or something like that. Luckily, this foal made a full recovery, but it was through the lady there was really keeping it. She was laying out in the field with it overnight, trying to keep him alive. But he did come out of it, which is fantastic because I really did not think he was going to survive. Sorry, I'm gonna make my daughter some cereal. What time is it? Is it like midnight or something?
For you, it's 11:05.
Oh, perfect. Mom of the Year award.
It's winter break.
It is. They go back to school in a couple days, though. I really need to get them back on a schedule, but we'll see. We see how that's going right now. My 9-year-old's over there saying he doesn't feel a single bit tired.
Hi, Sarah. Hi.
So I hear,
Okay.
move over because everybody was asking about it before about Falcon. We know where they're at. We have located them. And I guess the current bid is at $6,500. That's about all we know.
I'm sure he feels great. Good for him.
It's not the 65,000 or 60,000 he was expecting.
Right.
But I mean,
He might be able to buy a truck.
pretty great price for a grade likely lame horse.
Yeah. Good for
Not
him.
bad at all. He should be pretty stoked about that. It's because he's famous, I'm sure. Where did Tori go?
Right.
He's famous. All right, come on, Mama. Come sit in your chair.
What does it look like?
Who?
The cereal.
Tricks? It looks like little flowers and stuff, I guess. I don't know. I haven't eaten Tricks in 20 years. No, I'm okay. Thank you, Mama.
Nice. Why not teacher?
Enjoy your mouth tear up.
Have you ever heard of what is that called?
Yes, I know exactly what cereal rips your mouth, and that's one of them. There's another one too.
It's Captain cereal.
Yeah, Captain Crunch.
Yeah, Captain.
So as far as we can tell from the last pictures, he has the last pictures of Falcon posted up on the sales ad, and he looks like he's still lacking a top line, but can't tell 100%. I know he's put on some weight, but I think he actually lost some weight after that. Yeah, he did say Pete would be a private sale only, and I think that's because he wouldn't pass even a lameness at a walk. That's what my personal opinion is on that. But I'm going to encourage anybody that's just gotten on, I'm going to encourage you to go over to the Arabian Rescue Mission, read the last post that they made. This is something that we've been working on for the last 6 to 7 months or so, with getting these horses rescued. And there's 65 Arabians that need your assistance. So head over to their Facebook page and scroll down till you see the last post they did. That is 5 of the foals that just left this evening. And there's another 9 to 12 that are leaving on Tuesday. And then there's still going to be about, gosh, what's the math on that? There was 65 total. So there's going to be about 50 left that are going to need adoption, fostering, and or transport from Arkansas to Kentucky. Any kind of donations that you can make, whether it be monetary, just sharing their post, or getting them blankets, buckets, cob size and full size halters, yearling size halters, and then blankets over to them because we're about to go through a really, really cold front. And that's the one that Bree has up right now.
They're great.
Let's see. Okay, I think I'm going to go get these kids to bed after they're done. Thank you, Anubis. Hi. Some of these names I haven't seen in so long, and I'm seeing them all again. Yay, because I don't ever go on live anymore.
Yeah, we had to keep this quiet for so long.
I know, it was killing me, and I kind of mentioned that we were working on something a couple months ago, but I didn't want to say anything that was going to make this guy catch wind and potentially run again because it was really hard to find him in the first place. He kept moving locations at any time that the police were onto him or that he felt that he was going to be arrested again. So he just kept moving the horses to different places, and Arkansas is extremely rural, and it was hard to find them. Am I saying that right this time? I don't know if you guys remember rural.
I can never say it right.
So make sure you guys head over there, look at that last post, and anything that you can do, whether it be monetary or even just sharing the post and helping these 65 Arabian horses, please go do so. I'm going to go ahead and link their PayPal up in my bio. That goes straight to them. Just make sure that you post inside your donation that it's for the Arkansas herd. And with that, I am going to go put my kids to bed.
All right, sounds good. Good night.
Good night. Bye, guys.